To Kill a Mockingbird, Chapter 3. At lunch, Scout rubs Walter's nose in the dirt for getting her in trouble, but Jim intervenes and invites Walter to lunch. At the Finch house, Walter and Atticus discuss farm conditions like two men, and Walter puts molasses all over his meat and vegetables to Scout's horror. When she criticizes Walter, however, Calpurnia calls her into the kitchen to scold her and slaps her as she returns to the dining room, telling her to be a better hostess. Back at school, Miss Caroline becomes terrified when a tiny bug, or cootie, crawls out of a boy's hair. The boy is Burris Ewell, a member of the Ewell clan. He is even poorer and less respectable than the Cunningham clan. In fact, Burris only comes to school the first day of every school year, making a token appearance to avoid trouble with the law. He leaves the classroom, making enough vicious remarks to cause the teacher to cry. At home, Atticus follows Scout outside to ask her if something is wrong, to which she responds that she is not feeling well. She tells him that she does not think she will go to school anymore and suggests that he could teach her himself. Atticus replies that the law demands that she go to school, but he promises to keep reading to her as long as she does not tell her teacher about it. A few really important things happen in Chapter 3. In Chapter 3, Scout has some trouble at school. She does get into a fight with Walter Cunningham, and Scout is a tomboy by nature, so she is not afraid to get dirty, to fight with boys, to do these kind of things. She rubs his nose in the dirt, and Jim feels bad for him. Walter Cunningham is very poor. Again, remember his family paid Atticus for his legal advice and help in food. And so they invite him over to lunch. He takes the syrup and he pours it all over his food. Now, why in the world would he do this? Why would you want to have syrup on your mashed potatoes? Syrup at this time was very expensive and very hard to come by for the poor. So for Walter, this was like a treat. He doesn't get syrup a lot, and so he does put it all over his food. Burris Ewell is the younger Ewell. He is poor and uneducated. As it says, he comes the first day of school, and this is just like a token appearance the first day of school. When Scout gets home from school, she's upset. She's not had a very good experience with her first couple of days at school, and she tells Atticus she doesn't want to go back anymore. She talks a little bit about Burris. She talks about Walter Cunningham, and she talks about Miss Caroline. And she doesn't understand why these people are acting this way. On page 39 of the book, Atticus says, "First of all, if you can learn a simple trick, Scout, you'll get along a lot better with all kinds of folks. You never really understand a person until you consider things from his point of view, until you climb into his skin and walk around in it." And I think that Atticus saying this has a couple of different meanings. We've all heard this saying, you don't know somebody until you walk a mile in their shoes. And I think that's what Atticus is getting to here. He's telling Scout, you don't understand where people are coming from. You don't know what their situation may be, what they've been through, what they're going through at home, what they're thinking, what their fears are, what their hopes are. And you cannot know how they feel or why they do the things they do, as he says, until you climb into his skin and walk around in it. This is one of the most quotable quotes from To Kill a Mockingbird, one of the most famous quotes in there. This is a quote that really defines Atticus as a person as the book goes on, and some of the decisions that he makes. This is the reason why. And so later on in the book, in the chapter, Atticus talks a little bit about some things that are against the law that the Ewell family are committing, and again, they're uneducated, poor. At the end of Chapter 3, Atticus does make this deal with Scout. If she will go to school, he will continue to teach her to read, but in secret. Miss Caroline is not happy that Scout's learning how to read at home, but Scout wants to continue this as it's bonding time with her father, and it's important to her, so they will continue it, but she will keep it a secret.